Hello everyone, my name is Katie, I'm the Introverted Reader, and today's video is going to be my June wrap-up. I had such an amazing reading month this month, guys. Like, I was in such a good reading mood. I just wanted to read all the books, and I just felt so happy about every single one of them. I was just so excited. Even though I did have a good reading month, I read 9 books, but I had to DNF one, and that was The Wise Man's Fear by Patrick Rothfuss. This was a DNF just mainly because I just couldn't be bothered. I just got bored and I was just like, do you know what? We're done. I got 200 pages into this. I was listening to it via audiobook, and it wasn't that there was anything wrong with the narrator or anything. It's just nothing was happening. I literally feel like even reading Name of the Wind, even though it was our book of the month, I think back in April, I want to say. Anyway, it was the book of the month, and I remember reading it and just thinking that even though these are such thick books, but I just felt like we barely scratched the surface on anything about this character, and I was just like, you know what? I just can't be annoyed reading it anymore. So I just put it down. The next 2 books that I want to talk about are ones that I read on my Kindle, and those were Bright We Burn and Now I Rise, books 2 and 3 of the Conquerors trilogy by Kiersten White, and I enjoyed them. I did. I really enjoyed them. I actually started book 2 at the end of May, and I finished it in June, and then I started and finished book 3 this month. They were really good. I did really enjoy them. I mean, I would probably give them both 3 stars each. Like, they weren't amazing or anything. The characters are really good. It's a very political plot, because it's sort of like an historical fiction retelling of Vlad the Impaler, so it's sort of very historical as to like what life was like for a lot of countries and who was loyal to who and all that. I don't have that much to say about them, to be honest. The next one I want to talk about is actually one that I recently finished there on Sunday, and that is Witchsign by Dan Patrick. This is a fantasy story set in a world where magic has since been eradicated, and has been supposedly for over almost 100 years. And our main character Steiner has a little sister who he is worried has Witchsign, because basically if a child is born and they have any signs of like having magic or any sort of like Witchsign whatsoever, they are taken away and they're never seen again. I did really enjoy this book. It is book 1 in a series, so I can't really say that much on it. I did enjoy the characters. I did enjoy the plot. It did get a little bit it was, I mean, I'm trying to be nice. I'm trying to find the words to be nice, but all in all, I was just like, eh. But again, first book in a series, I'm trying not to judge it too harshly, but yeah, I really enjoyed it. I ended up giving Witchsign 3 out of 5 stars. The next one that I read, I'm just looking at it and I'm just so happy. The next one I read this month was Alice in Wonderland by Simon James Green. I have an entire review of this on my channel, which Simon actually watched. I put it out there on Twitter that I'd reviewed it, and he liked my tweet and retweeted it and responded to me saying that he liked the review, and he even like retweeted it, and I was just like, oh my goodness, I can't. Anyway, basically the story is about this lovely little boy called Alex, and his friends have basically abandoned him during the summer. And instead of facing a lonely summer by himself, he gets himself a job at this at the sort of like arcade center called Wonderland. And if you've ever been to like any like seaside towns in England, you'll probably know what an arcade center is. But it's basically just one of those places where there's like these really cheesy arcade games everywhere, like claw machines, slot machines, stuff like that. So and anyway, so while Alex is working there, he meets this lovely boy called Ben, and he immediately gets a crush on him. But then come to find that Ben actually has a girlfriend, so that's a little bit awkward. Again, I have a full review of this on my channel, so if you want to go and watch it, you can, and I still cannot wrap my head around the fact that the author of this amazing book actually watched my review And yeah, it was the most exciting 10 minutes of my life. So there's Alice in Wonderland, 5 out of 5 stars. The next one I read was actually our book of the month pick for June for the Introverted Reader Book Club, and that was The Demon King by Cinda Chima. This is the first book in the Seven Realms series. It's a high fantasy story following a bunch of different characters. One is a princess and her mother is trying to force her into like an arranged marriage, and the other one is sort of like he's very poor. You know, he lives in one of the poorer cities in this world, and he used to be a leader of a gang, but he's not in that gang anymore. He's trying to like get his life together. I really liked his storyline. The princess's storyline was she was just like your typical princess. You know, she was spoiled and stubborn and was like, I don't want to get married. I want to flirt and kiss all the boys and just live my life. And it's just like, okay, love, calm down. But yeah, it was really, really good. I really enjoy the magic system and how like the people with magic work alongside those who don't, and there's this whole like there's like different laws and stuff between them that they have to abide by, and that's all really I'm going to tell you, because I think you should really go into this not really knowing that much. I didn't know anything at all about this, and I all in all ended up really enjoying it. I love the whole mythology behind how the kingdom was founded and how magic was discovered and stuff like that. So it is really, really interesting. Although there were a few things that bothered me. Obviously, I wasn't a fan of most of the characters, and the plot line didn't really move very quickly. There were a good few things that happened in here, but there wasn't like anything like big and major. But again, it is the first book in a series. I'm not going to judge it too harshly. So all in all, I would give it 3, maybe 3.5 out of 5 stars. The next one I read is another one that I reviewed recently on my channel, and that is The School for Good and Evil, Book 1 by Soman Chainani. I really hope I'm pronouncing that name right. I'm really sorry if I'm pronouncing your last name wrong. I'm sorry. But anyway, this is a story set in a world where this sort of like entity or being called the schoolmaster goes around all the villages and sort of basically kidnaps children, one good and one evil, and the good one goes to the school for good and the evil one goes to the school for evil. And it's about these 2 different characters, 2 different girls, Agatha and Sophie, and basically there's like a switcheroo. Agatha, who everybody thought was evil, goes to the school for good, and Sophie, who everyone assumes is good, goes to the school for evil. And it's basically this, it's a story basically about friendship and who really is truly good and really is truly evil, and can a person be truly good, or you know, there's different facets to everyone, do you know what I mean? I thought that was really, really interesting. I go further into that in my review, so if you want to watch my review on this book, you can go ahead and watch that. It's on my channel. But it's the first book in what is going to be a 6-book series. And a lot did happen in here. I really did enjoy it, but I would give it 3 out of 5. 3.5 maybe out of 5 stars, maybe 4 if I'm being nice. Anyway, the next 2 that I want to talk about, oh my goodness, are probably going to be one of my favorite duologies, but we'll see. And that is Everless and Evermore, both by Sara, Holland. Both of these are tabbed. This one more than this one. And basically this is set in a world where your time on how long you have to live is like bound to your blood. So it's okay, how can I explain this? It's bound into your blood, and basically what happens is like these like people called timekeepers come along and they take blood from you, and that's like withdrawing time from you. So it's just like you're giving time, if you know what I mean. It's kind of difficult, it's kind of hard to explain, but basically the more blood you give, the less time you have to live, if that makes any kind of sense. If you've read this, you know what I mean. But there's a more detailed synopsis on Goodreads, but that in a nutshell is what it is. And our main character is called Jules. I couldn't remember her name there. I was like, what's her name? It's called Jules, and she basically lives with her father in this really, really poor village, and they're barely scraping by. And then she hears that the it's not the royal household, it's not the palace, but there's this house, this like really huge house where this duke lives, and her father used to live there, but then something happened and they had to leave. And she wants to go back to get a job and earn herself some money, and her father doesn't want her to do that, but she ends up going anyway, and a bunch of stuff happens. I don't really want to get into it. I knew nothing about this book, or this duology, but I'm really glad that I didn't, because I went into it completely blind and I absolutely adored it. Although there is one thing that I will say that I didn't like about this duology. I loved the plot. I adored the characters so much. I thought the concept was amazing. But on the subject of characters, there was one character in particular that I wanted so much more from. Like, I wanted a chapter from his point of view, because he had so much to give. Like, he had a complete storyline. Like, he had a real part to play in this story, because the journey that Jules goes on in this book, she would not have been able to go on were it not for him. And I really wanted a chapter from his point of view, because he does become like a principal character in this story. And I really feel like him, especially him, he's called Liam, and he's my dark angsty son, and I love him so much. He is such a diamond. He's so adorable and he's so smart. I love him so much. Anyway, but basically, yeah, him and like, honestly, a bunch of other characters in this were pretty much pushed to the back burner. Like, even like, there's another character that plays quite a major part in this. She kind of got put on the back burner a little bit, and it was mostly just about Jules and her finding her way, and that's fine. I enjoyed Jules's journey, but like, there were other characters in this too, bruh. Like, they needed a voice too. But all in all, I absolutely adored these, and I would definitely recommend them. So yeah, I think I gave both of them, I think I gave Everless 4, and then in my excitement when I finished Evermore, because it was so good, I gave it 5. The last book that I want to talk about, that I recently finished, was The Hidden Power of Effing Up by the Try Guys. Look at them. Look how cute they are. So this is written by Keith Habersberger, Eugene Liang, Zach Kornfeld, and Ned Fulmer, also known as the Try Guys. I actually listened to this via audiobook. This was sort of like my commute listen as I went to and from work, and like sitting on the bus having to like legit put my hand up to cover my mouth to stop myself from like to not let people see that I was like smiling or holding in giggles, because this was so wonderful. Like, this it was funny, it was wholesome, like, it made me want to cry, it made me want to laugh, it made me sit on the bus and just clutch my chest and be like, aww. Like, I really hope no one on the bus thought I was having a heart attack or like stomach pains or something. I probably did, but I don't care, because this was wonderful. Like, they talk about personal things in their own lives, and they also like, they don't give advice, but it's just sort of like, I don't have all the answers, but here are some things that I have tried, and I believe that you can try them too if maybe you do it this way, or if you try maybe doing this, and don't worry about effing up, because we all F up, and that's okay. Like, so yeah, I would highly recommend you get your hands on this. Get yourself the audiobook. Oh my goodness, the audiobook is amazing. They all read it and they are so wonderful, and I just love the Try Guys so much. And yeah, 5 out of 5 for the power of effing up. The hidden power of effing up, I should say. But like, yeah, I love this book. It's wonderful. So yeah, those are all the books that I read in the month of June. I'm going to put them over here. Those are all the books that I read in the month of June. I had such an amazing reading month. Like, so many amazing reads this month. You know what I mean? Apart from the one that I DNF, but we're not going to talk about her. What did you read in the month of June? Let me know. I have my July TBR video up if you want to see the books that I'm reading this month. I'm going to be going away at the end of this week, so you might not see me for a couple days, but I mean, what else is new? But anyway, that was my June wrap up. Let me know down there what you read this month, and I will see you guys in my next video.